Hello there and welcome to the Bearded Peacock. It's my channel where we talk all things Leeds United. I'm of course George. Welcome along to the channel everybody, and it's another Peacocks in the Present video. I thought I'd couple together the match review for tomorrow's FA Cup game at Accrington Stanley with a couple of bits of transfer news. Obviously we've had as well an assistant head coach appointment as well, so we'll briefly touch on that as well, because Jesse Marsh was heavy on talking about Chris Armas, wasn't he, in his press conference for this Accrington Stanley FA Cup fourth round tie. So we'll get straight into looking at that game. Then obviously Leeds United have been there before, haven't we, many times over the last few years, plenty of times playing lower league opposition away from home. We never seem to get these ties at home. We don't get any ties in the FA Cup at home other than replay. Of course, we know that incredible record Leeds United have of consecutive away FA Cup games, which is madness. It's another one tomorrow lunchtime, isn't it? It's a 12:30 kickoff on BBC One. Leeds face League One side Accrington Stanley, who sit 49 places behind Leeds United in the Football League 92. Obviously, we know the Football League is 92 clubs. They are 20th at the moment in League One. Leeds United obviously sit 15th in the Premier League. But we cannot take this game for granted. Like I said, we've been here before. We've in the last sort of 10, 15 years, maybe we've lost to like three League Two sides, I think, away. We've lost to a non-league side as well. Was it Sutton? I think were non-league when we got beat by them on that plastic pitch. Newport, Rochdale, obviously. Of recent times, just even a couple of years ago, we went to Crawley Town and got absolutely destroyed. It was a decent team that went there that day, but Bielsa never won, as we know, an FA Cup game for Leeds. Jesse Marsh seems to be taking this one very seriously, and I believe I'll come on to my predicted lineup in a minute, but I think he will go very, very strong for this. Accrington Stanley, managed by Coleman, isn't he? I can't remember what's his first name now, but the Scouse fella, he was speaking and he said, "Yeah, it's one for the fans." Obviously, we know the narrative. Oh, it's one for the fans. Bring in big gates. I was watching them. Then the interview must have said to quite a number of players and the manager, obviously. There's people queuing outside for tickets. It's going to be a full capacity, and I'm sure it will be. People, and then BBC will be praying for an upset, won't they? As well. Uh, I don't think it's going to happen. I know that people will want it. I know the manager there has had two separate spells at Accrington Stanley. One lasted about 12 and a half years. He's been in charge now since 2014, so he's been there for a long, long time as Coleman. They're not doing well in the league. I know they've had quite a few FA Cup games and EFL trophy games as well, but they've no win. They've only one win in the last 5 league games. They sit one place above the relegation zone and 1 point above the relegation zone in League One. So yeah, look, it's a game that they'll look for a bit of a distraction to hopefully build momentum. We've seen it many times. This narrative where the lower league side go and beat the Premier League side. And we've got to make sure that we're not another one in our history, in our own history, but also one that the TV cameras will absolutely lap up if we get beaten there tomorrow. But like I said, no, I don't see it happening. I think Jesse Marsh, from listening to his press conference, is very, very respectful of Accrington Stanley, knows what they can bring, knows the dangers, what they can potentially cause us because they will, again, they said one of the players who's a lifelong Leeds fan, of course, in their ranks, Roger Harvey, isn't it, the centre back? He said he thinks that Accrington can hurt Leeds through long balls, long throw-ins, corner kicks. So yeah, they're looking at set pieces. Um, the manager said that we will be sort of, you know, sort of almost sort of intrigued or wary of players that we do not have, but their League Ones. I'm not being funny, but the League One standard, obviously, and probably even worse standard players. These, so I don't think Leeds United be looking at any of these players thinking, oh, he's a, maybe we should go and get him. Not being funny, but we're not at that stage anymore, are we, Leeds? We're way above this team, and yeah, I know they can cause us problems. I know they will through like the defender said, um, long balls, everything, throw-ins, long throw-ins, corner kicks, free kicks. But I do feel Jesse's going to go very, very. He'll go with a strong lineup, won't he? He will. I think he'll and this is what I think he'll go with. I do think he'll stick with Melier in goal, even though Robles did get the nod for Cardiff in the original tie. I think it'll be Firpo at left back. I think it'll then be um, Llorente and Voba at centre back. I think right back will be Christensen. In the middle of the two, there will be Greenwood and Rocker, I think. On the left side of the midfield will be Sinisterra. In the middle, I think, will be Harrison. On the right, we'll see, as Jesse said, Ruta will make some kind of. I think he'll start the game on that right hand side of the wing. And then I think Patrick Bamford up front. So with that, we should have more than enough. They've got to apply themselves. I'm sure they will because Jesse Marsh will have drilled it into them. They want to win this game of football. It's an opportunity for them to get further in the competition, which would then be in the fifth round. So look, for me, it's it's definitely one that we look to win. We will win, and yeah, I don't see anything other than a Leeds United win tomorrow. We will avoid this potential banana skin with quite, I think, an air of comfortability. I do think we will because I think they'll be bang on it. They won't want anything else to happen. Any stupidness from a couple of years ago where we got beat off Crawley. They know what it is. The fallout from losing this game. So we've never played Accrington, obviously, in a league game. Accrington, even when we were in League One, I think we're even further down the football league, or potentially even in the conference. We've played them twice in our history in the cup, in various different cups. One in the EFL, the Johnson's Paint Trophy. One in the League Cup, I think it was. Both at Ellen Road. We won 1-2-0 and we won 1-2-1. People might remember Gaetano Berardi's attempt at a karate kick, got himself sent off on his debut. Who would know then that he would become the figure he is, and he was, and it is still to us now. But yeah, 2-1 win. I think Dukara got both goals on that day, and we won 2-1. And so yeah, they're the only two ever meetings between the two sides. Like I said, we've never been down to Accrington. It's only Lancashire, isn't it? The White Rose against the Red Rose. This is one of them derbies, isn't it? Of not a massive one, but it is one of those, isn't it? And I'm sure, obviously, Leeds United will be there in force. It'll be a sellout crowd at the Wham Stadium. So let's wait and see. But for me, yeah, we go strong and we beat them. Not like 3-4-5-0, but I do think it'll be a comfortable win. I think we'll be in control of this tie. Although their manager did say that they do take solace in that Cardiff City managed to get 4 goals in 2 games past us, and he did mention the Crawley Town game a couple of years ago where, and incidentally, they have conquered Crawley in the first round of the FA Cup this time. They beat Crawley in the first round, they beat Barnet in the second round, and they needed a replay to get past a conference side, Boreham Wood, on Tuesday night in the third round. So again, they'll see it as an opportunity, a banana skin. These things happen, but yeah, for me, it's Leeds United win all the way through this tie. Anyway, we'll move on to transfers then, and we'll move on to Weston McKennie. Weston McKennie, lots of updates from Fabrizio Romano. Obviously, we're going in for the US men's national team midfielder, the man that plays in midfield for his country with our very own Tyler Adams. We are in hot pursuit of this fella from Juventus. Can play all over the middle of the park, really. He's attacking, he's defending sometimes. Wherever the manager needs him to be, down that middle of the pitch, even on the wing. He has played on the right-hand side of a five-man midfield for Juventus this season. 15 appearances in all for them, 13 starts so far. Obviously, they've been hit with the massive 15-point deduction, which they are appealing, and they need two men, don't they, for the minus 15. It's Jermaine Beckford and it's Trezor Candle. Get them signed up, Juventus, if you're listening, which you're obviously not, but get them signed up. They were fantastic when we had that minus 15 points. Obviously, I'm being facetious. But let me know in the comments there. What was your favourite away day in League One? Because obviously that was when we got hit with a minus 15. Which one, if you went to any, did you enjoy the most? Obviously, we had 3 years down there in the end, didn't we? But yeah, look, Juventus are in a mess. The latest from Fabrizio Romano is that Leeds United is not actually looking about signing Weston McKennie on a permanent transfer. It has got a clause in it, this proposal, but initially it looks at the moment like Leeds United are trying to buy Weston McKennie on loan, on initial loan for the rest of the season, and then maybe it's an obligation to buy. I'm thinking it's an obligation to buy until, providing that we stay up. I think that's what it's going to be. If we stay up, we pay them, I don't know, £30 million for Weston McKennie. And I believe that's probably what they're deciding on at the moment. I don't think Juventus might not have a issue with him going out on loan. I'm sure we'll probably, have to pay a heavy loan fee as well for him. So, I think I think it'd be the end, fee. Well, it's just the way the deal's going to be structured, isn't it? What they're hammering out. We know by now. Obviously, Weston has agreed personal terms with Leeds United. I can't imagine it would have been that hard with him having some familiar faces within Leeds United at the moment. Obviously, he's big mates with Tyler Adams, Jesse Marshall. Now, I believe Jesse will probably be his future national coach as well. There's Brendan Aronson in there as well. So we'll wait to see, but this will be a fantastic signing for me, and hopefully Leeds United can get it done. It still sounds like it's in a little bit in the balance at the moment. They're trying to thrash out with the Italian giants how to structure this deal, but let's wait and see. But give me your thoughts on Weston McKennie down there in the comments there. And just lastly, to round up the video, is a couple of young outgoings. First of all, there was Cody Drama, who joined Luton Town, Championship side Luton Town, on loan for the rest of the season. That was yesterday. And then, sort of a bit more impact on the first team, possibly, is the fact that Joe Gelhardt has joined Championship side Sunderland on loan to the end of the season. Obviously, Joffy hasn't scored any goals this season. He's featured about 10 times, I think, for the first team this time. I think he's had one start, 20-year-old striker. And if he can bang in the goals, then we're okay, aren't we? He comes back to Leeds with a lot more confidence, and because don't forget he signed that massive deal in the summer, didn't he? So Leeds United aren't looking to let him go, I don't think, permanently, but it is stark. It's so obvious that he is not going to get much game time at the moment, particularly with Jorginho Rutter coming in. He wasn't going to get any game time, really, was he? Just signed that big contract, like I said. So, they want to go and see him do well, don't they? They want to go and see him score goals, get his confidence up in a team that are pushing for the playoffs. So it's a decent atmosphere over there. Obviously, it's a big club, Sunderland, and it'll be a good move it for him this, and hopefully he can get amongst the goals quickly and come back to Leeds full of life next season. But if I'm giving my honest opinion on it, I think we'll have seen the end of Joe Gelhardt with that. I think he'll go on loan. Maybe he'll do quite well. Maybe they'll want to sign him on a permanent at the end of the season. I know he signed a contract at the start of the season, but it just hasn't worked out. It doesn't really fit properly in our team, and yeah, Rutter is the same age, and we paid 30, close to 30 million for him. You know what I mean? He doesn't compare at the moment, and if I'm honest, I don't think he's good enough at the moment. He might be in the future, but at this current moment, I don't think he's good enough. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking about Joe Gelhardt, Cody Drama. What are we going to do about Weston McKennie? We're going to get him. Would he be a good signing? And also tomorrow's game at Accrington. How do you see this one going? Let me know in the comments there below. Thank you very much for watching. Marching on together. I'll see you on the next one.